To me, enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Indie Wrestling Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host as always, the queen of the Indies, Tiffany. And oh man, we're going all the way on the other side of the world. You're actually way ahead of me right now, which is so wild. You know, it's so wild that I'm in New York, you're over there in Australia. It's nuts. So welcome my wonderful guest, Joel Bateman. How are ya?
Good morning. It is what is it? It's like what? Yeah, 11:15. What day is it today? Tuesday morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're at time zones and all that. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm looking. I kind of set my podcast shot up so it looks relatively clean. You can't see like below waist level. There's shit everywhere because I've not packed a thing and I fly out tomorrow. So.
Oh my goodness, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. So yeah, here I am in New York. It's 7:00 at night. You know, it's on the day before you. It's so wild to me. So, but this is exciting. So I'm glad it took us a little bit to figure out the time, but we're here.
Yeah, look. I can tell you from the future that nothing super crazy happens in like the next 15 hours.
Damn.
So you're okay.
Damn. I was expecting like, you know, maybe you were going to give me the lotto numbers or something like that on this podcast. I was going to split the winnings with you. Like, damn it.
Damn, should have thought of that one.
Maybe when you go back, then you could like DM me that you know, we'll split the winnings or whatever. I love it. Guys, if you're new to the Under the Rope series, here I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, referees, behind the scenes. I got you covered. So guys, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, share the stream. Get some people in here, ask the questions, drop them into the chat. I'm sure Joel will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. So man, let's get ready. I mean, I'm pumped. There's so much to talk about on this podcast. I'm really excited. So we're gonna start off. I like to call it back to basics pretty much with anybody that comes onto this podcast. People may know you, people may not know you. So we're gonna learn a little bit about you tonight. So let's start off about how you got into professional wrestling.
Like how I saw it for the first time, or how did I like get into the business?
Like how did you, get into the business? You know, what made you decide to be a wrestler? Like, you know.
Yep. I gotcha. So I, like most kids who grew up in the mid-90s, was an Attitude Era kid. But here in Australia, there was two different cable companies, Optus Vision and Foxtel, and Ozstar, but Ozstar was for like jabronis who live in the country. So it was Foxtel and Ozstar. Foxtel and Optus Vision. Optus Vision had WCW and Foxtel had WWF. So your promotional alliance was largely based around whatever cable company your parents decided to get. So I had Optus Vision, so I was a WCW kid. So I grew up on WCW. My first memories of seeing wrestling was Goldberg beating Hogan at the Georgia Dome. So that was like the burn into my brain, getting him up for the jackhammer and all the rubbish. It was awesome. So then I bugged the crap out of my uncle, Skip Vaught, a little bit to buy Starrcade 98 and then bawled my eyes out when Kevin Nash beat Goldberg. So that was kind of my thing. And then obviously like going to video stores like Video Easy and Blockbuster and stuff like that, and just hiring everything I could and just kind of immerse myself. But so that was like 97, 98. And then I think I want to be a wrestler, because before that I wanted to be a cricket player. Cricket's a crazy sport that we play here in Australia that you guys don't have.
Yeah.
I think baseball, but somehow even slower.
Mm.
So yeah, I wanted to be a cricket player. Or I wanted to be a race car driver. They were kind of the two things. So, but then I decided I want to be a wrestler, and I kept telling my mom, I want to be a wrestler. I want to be a wrestler. I want to be a wrestler. But we didn't know about independent wrestling here in Australia. We used to be an NWA affiliate back in the 70s, but since that closed down, it just kind of limped along for the next 20 odd years. But we saw an ad in the paper for a training school, and Mom went, right, I'm sick of fucking hearing about you wanting to be a wrestler. At the age of 11, mind you. I'm going to take you down to practice. You're going to get your ass kicked, and then you're going to hate it, and I'll never have to hear about it again, and you can go and play fucking cricket.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right, cool. I went down to practice, got the shit kicked out of me, and went, this is the greatest thing ever. And now, 20 years later, I'm still here.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, so I started training at a place called PCW, which is still in business. And yeah, I was 11 when I started, and there was like 3 or 4 of us who were kind of like all under the age of 12 at the time. So they were like kind of our little crew. And then, yeah, I trained for 2 years before having my first match. I debuted in March. It's this month makes 19 years.
Wow.
So I debuted March 2003.
Wow.
At the age of 13, wearing tracksuit pants and a t-shirt and runners, because like wrestling boots are not a thing to a still growing 13-year-old.
Oh my goodness. So let me ask you this, because this is really interesting, because again, in New York, there's rules that
you have an athletic commission.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is crazy. And this is why I drive to Jersey all the time. But so what is like the age minimum to like train and then kind of make a debut?
Wrestling here is completely unregulated. Not by the government, not by there's no governing body here. There's barely a governing body on combat sports. There was a big thing here for years where cage fighting was banned, and the UFC really wanted to come and tour Australia, but the government would let them because cage fighting was this big barbaric thing. But wrestling obviously falls right in the middle of that gray area between sports and arts.
Right.
So no one at even like a local government level wants to fucking go anywhere near it. So it is for a long time, it was the Wild West here. Now, largely, no one will accept anyone under the age of 16, mostly because your body's still developing. Like, I have a lot of injuries now that probably would have been prevented if I wasn't taking bumps while I was still developing.
Right. So,
like, I've got back issues and knee issues and stuff like that just come from, oh, hey, look, I'm 18 years old. Oh, I've already been taking bumps for 7 years. So that's what kind of did me in there. And that culture kind of went away not long after we came in. It was kind of, oh shit, maybe they are a little too young.
Wow.
And there wasn't too many kids that came in after us.
Wow. That's crazy. It's so nuts. But it's just interesting, again, even like in the States, like, every state's different. And like you said, we have the commission here, which kind of sucks. So no blood here in New York. And if I want blood, then, I got to track over to Jersey.
Cross the Hudson. Yeah.
Gotta go over the bridge.
But yeah, like, you hear stories about like Teddy Hart and Jack Evans training at like 8 years old on fucking trampolines and stuff like that. So it does happen, but obviously just not in New York. Yeah,
it's crazy. Again, like I said, you gotta get in your car, you gotta drive over, like the Verrazano or the Manhattan Bridge, whatever it is, get to Jersey, and give me the damn light tubes, pretty much, But so that's so nuts. So obviously, I know you, but for that fan that's never seen you wrestle before, what is the go-to match that they should go check out after this podcast to learn about you and become a fan?
None of them. They're all dog shit.
No, stop.
I'm really proud of the Dream Tournament, to be honest. I thought that was really well done in terms of like amalgamation of like modern deathmatch wrestling. It was very uniquely Australian in its like presentation and the way we put it all together. It told some good stories and we did some fucking crazy shit. Yeah. So I think that whole tournament, like I have 3 matches on that show, and they're all vastly different. I think it's probably a really good representation, but I always say like the best match to check out to see where I'm at is the last one. That being said, that won't be up. So I wrestled on Saturday, but that won't be online by the time I get over there. So yeah, I'd say the Dream Tournament, 100%.
Definitely. Loving the chat. I see you, Sky. She said she's got her notepad ready. So she was really excited about this podcast.
Oh, Sky from the UK.
Yes.
Oh, I love Sky. Sky's the best.
She is.
Sky's the best.
So excited.
I've been actually following her training because she's training in the UK.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the name of the school, but I do watch all the videos she posts, and her bumps are getting really, really good. So.
Yeah, it's so exciting to watch her journey, like been big supporter of me, big supporter of like just wrestling in general, and watching her support all you guys. And like it's so fun to watch her starting, her journey. And again, like I'm like, yeah, share the videos. I want to see like your progress. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, and she has like the most amazing support system of like independent wrestling, of like 500 aunts and uncles who are gonna sit there and like coach and pick apart every little thing and just support and uplift. Like it's such a cool, like, I guess, social social project as well. Just seeing, hey, look, there's this person who really wants to try wrestling in COVID, where obviously we're all communicating through the internet more. And it's like, yeah, fucking go for it. Go, be sick. And yeah, there's like people all over the world following this one person's amazing journey into the business. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's really great. It's so cool. And then I think she knows pretty much, and that's what it feels like, because of the fact that she's got that big support system. I feel like that if she wanted to train anywhere, like everybody's gonna be like, yeah, come here, I'll teach you here, or whatever. We can train here, because I know H2O is all about it, and like I'm sure if like she came over to you and stuff, that'd be so 100%. Awesome. See, Sky, you got massive support system. She said she loves us, so we love you too. Awesome. All right, so let's get into the good stuff. Let's talk DMDU, Deathmatch Down Under. Okay, so talk to us about the company. For the fans again that may not be watching, don't know about it. How is it? What makes it different than other deathmatch companies?
Well, we're on the other side of the world for one. So DMDU kind of came about almost out of necessity. So myself, Callum Butcher, Damian Rivers, Jay Stevens, and Smacks all had kind of like at one point or another gone, hey, let's do a deathmatch show. Hey, let's do a deathmatch show, because here in Australia, there's always been death matches, but there's never really been a deathmatch scene. There's never been a company that's gone, we're going to put death matches kind of at the forefront of what we do and hang our hat on it. Back in like when I broke in like the early 2000s, PCW, the company that I was at, was doing like almost like an ECW tribute style. It was very ECW, like a lot of hardcore, and like one show to be Flaming Tables and the next show to be like Stairway to Hell, and like they were just gradually upping the ante. And the houses were going up as the matches were getting crazier. It's like, all right, we'll do a barbed wire cage match. Holy fuck, there's 700 people here. And the houses were getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it all culminated to this show called Carnage in September of 2002. And it was a no-rope, barbed wire, Taipei 40,000 rating thumbtack death match between Lobo, Australian Lobo, not American Lobo, because that confuses the fuck out of everybody. Like, not the guy who's at CZW. We have one too. And Mad Dog. Who wrestles for DMDU currently, even still. So they had this big, amazing death match, this big no-rope barbed wire match. 1,200 people came out to see it. Like, it was a massive success for the company, but it was branded as family entertainment. So there was a lot of kids in the building. I was like 12 years old. I was front row. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And what happened is people who weren't wrestling for PCW at the time got a hold of it and went to the press. So it ended up on like our version of 60 Minutes. It was on the back page of the newspaper. They exposed the business really badly. Like, I'm not going to say what they said in the paper, but if you know anything about deathmatch wrestling, you don't have to think too hard about what they were saying. Saying like they sprayed blood on the fans, they called it organized barbarism, mutilation, and just like buried it. And almost killed the territory. So in 4 weeks, houses went from 1,200 to 80.
Wow.
And took the better part of a decade to kind of recover. So for a really long time, deathmatch was painted with this really broad brush of just do not do death matches. It'll kill the territory. And the only time you really saw any kind of like really graphic hardcore deathmatch stuff is on like these over 18 like bar shows. And it was only like 3 or 4 different people who would do them because that was the style they really liked to do. But obviously it was so kind of limited to these tiny little bar shows that it was kind of hard to get a scene going or a title or a company or anything like that. And so for the next 15 odd years, it just kind of limped along like that. Guys like Crackerjack and Mad Dog and myself and Vixen all just doing death matches where we could. But there was never really like a scene for it. There was not like, you know, your CZW or your IWA Mid-South. There wasn't a company that was like a deathmatch company because everyone was so shit scared of killing the town. And then kind of in like 2019, 2020, I'd had shoulder surgery and was looking at coming back because I'd been out for a while with a really bad shoulder. And death matches were just starting to come up a bit more. Like Melbourne's a really big live music city.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was more bar shows going on, and with the over 18 shows comes a rowdy crowd, and with the rowdy crowd comes violence. So we were doing more death matches, and yeah, we'd all kind of come together individually and gone, I want to do a death match show, and I want to do a death match show, and I want to do a death match show. And then we kind of stopped and went, well, why don't we just fucking put all our money in a pile and do a death match company? And that was in like January 2020. And then Casanova Valentine came out here, and that was meant to be the kickoff party for DMDU.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Cass did a no-ring match, and I love it. It's 2 years to the week
Crazy.
that he came to my city and did a no-ring death match and left me with a big 8-inch gash on the back of my head that I feel every morning when I'm in the shower. But I promise I'm getting somewhere with this story. So, because I'm like, fuck, I've been talking for like 5 minutes. Yeah, so Cass came here right as the pandemic kicked off. Like that night we went, shit, we have to go out and get sanitizer and gloves because we only knew COVID as this touch thing.
Right.
But the other two shows that we had booked for Cass actually got cancelled because Melbourne went into lockdown because of COVID. Like it was that close. Cass almost missed getting back for NHB2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how close it was. I think he got back, he got out of the country with like 2 days to spare.
Wow.
And then they canceled all international flights. And then Australia was one of like the most hardcore lockdown countries in the world because of COVID. But we were meant to launch in May of 2020, and then the pandemic hit.
Right.
So we're sitting here going, we're ready to go. Like the keys in the ignition, we're ready to run a show. But then Speaking Out happened. Black Lives Matter happened. Like the entire, not just the wrestling business, the entire world changed.
Right.
So we stopped and broke everything down. We brought on Aaron Dick, who is our amazing every person at this point. Like they came in with an original role, and I don't even remember the job title now. Aaron just does everything, but Aaron's really amazing on the morality side of things and just keeping everybody in check and making sure that we're a super welcoming company, because our ethos is we're doing death matches. Death matches are risky, they're crazy, they're dangerous. We want everybody to be safe. Not just us as performers, but we want the fans to feel safe, not only from a physical perspective, but from an emotional perspective and a community perspective as well. So we're obviously a gender neutral company. Obviously, like we do shitloads of intergender stuff and just gender neutral stuff. We are very LGBT friendly. We've actually had people who are trans leave the house for the first time, identifying as the gender they want to identify, coming to our shows. It's like the first time they've left the house identifying that way, and they come to a DMDU show because they know it's a safe space. So like that's something I'm kind of more proud of than like doing a gazillion death matches and breaking a shitload of light tubes.
Yeah.
I'm like, if we can create a space that's so safe that people can come and do that, we've done our job.
Yeah.
And then on the talent side of things, because as I said, like a lot of the old guard who are still around are like, oh, holy fuck, a deathmatch company? You guys are going to ruin everything. You're going to kill the territory.
Right.
So we've got, paramedics at every single show. Even though we don't have an athletic commission, we mandate blood testing for everybody, not just deathmatch wrestlers. We have mental health first aid people there in case any other content's like triggering, like if someone freaks out at all the blood. We have mental health first aid. We have quiet rooms. We have sensory packs, all that kind of shit. So that's been a lot of the driving force behind why people have kind of checked us out and gone, hey, this is a deathmatch company, but it's inclusive. Like it's two polar opposites, but it's actually, for whatever reason, whatever we're selling, people are buying. So that's kind of how it's been for the last year. And it's just been off to the races. When we started the company, we're like, we'll draw like 50 people and this is just going to be a vanity project and lose a bunch of money, but at least we'll go, be able to do death matches and be happy. But it's been the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And we have had success that has blown even my lofty expectations of what I thought it was going to be when we started. And that, a large part of that is what has led into me coming to the US.
It's so amazing, and again, like deathmatch wrestling, I feel like, is, you know, it's not everybody's forte, and that's fine, you know, like, it's an acquired taste. I always tell the story the first time that I saw skewers, and I freaked out. This was years and years and years ago. I didn't know, you know, I didn't know what to expect, and I walked out of the venue, you know, so it was just like a, you know, like a funny thing, and now I'm all in, you know, like when you're better like known about it, and now it's just like I love it. I love my light tubes, like anything with light tubes, I'm all for it. You know, and then and again, I've had multiple deathmatch wrestlers come on to this podcast. Alex Colon was just on, he returned recently on the podcast, and we talked about crazy stuff. Casanova Valentine's been on the podcast. I've done a lot of backstage stuff you guys have seen if you watch my Indie Talks episodes, especially when he's at H2O, you know, we chat with him all the time, like such wonderful people. And it's like we always say, the deathmatch wrestlers are always like the most nicest people. I feel like, me personally, I could definitely say that for a lot of you guys. You know, yeah. But it's great. So anybody who's scared of deathmatch wrestling, don't be afraid, like, or don't be afraid to go meet your favorite wrestlers. But another, I know there's a question in chat I'm going to get to, I promise, but I want to talk about this because since we're talking about DMDU, it's like, so again, like if you guys haven't watched it, IWTV, again, $10 a month, you can't go wrong. You can watch so much wrestling, be supportive of it, everything like that. But so tell me the experience for you guys that you have, like, here you are, you're in Australia, you have that fan base, you know, but here it is, here we are, we're in the States, and I'm watching, like, you know, we're watching DMDU, and I'm watching Twitter, and I'm watching the wrestlers like tweeting at you guys, which is so, forget the fans, the wrestlers, the deathmatch wrestler community, just like tweeting at you guys, like wiling out for what you guys are putting on over there. How's that like for you?
So humbling, you wouldn't even believe, because and this is something, this is like one of my favorite things about getting to come to the US and tell everybody this shit in person, is y'all grew up watching like US independent wrestling. Yeah. So did we, and so did the rest of the world. So when we decided to go on IWTV as opposed to like bury our footage behind like a gigantic paywall, it opened us up to this amazing international community and this built-in deathmatch community, because, you know, like 90% of the deathmatch companies are featured really heavily on IWTV.
Right.
And people that, you know, like, we grew up, like, I used to tape trade for fucking Insane Lane shows. Like, I used to tape trade for Deep South and Mid South to watch Insane Lane and Ian Rutten throw light tubes at each other while dressed as hillbillies. And then, you know, like, I get a DM from someone like Insane Lane, who's an amazing deathmatch legend, going, "Hey, man, that show was sick. I really enjoyed it." I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like, oh, my God. And it just blows my mind, like, because, yeah, like I said earlier, I was skeptical that people in Australia were going to check us out, let alone the rest of the world. And people that obviously, all of us, not just myself, but like the next generation of deathmatch people that came through, like Damian Rivers and Callan Butcher and Will Walker, like people that they've been watching on tape for years, now coming out of the woodwork and, you know, networking and offering feedback and, you know, helping us network and making connections and stuff like that. It's the coolest thing in the world. And like, without IWTV and the invention of, you know, the internet, none of that would be possible, because we are so goddamn isolated over here. We've kind of just all put it together on our own without a lot of outside help. But now kind of, you know, having these people reach out and be like, "Hey, send me the show, let's talk about it." And go, "Hey, maybe if you change this or move this here or cut that out or add this," like, is just helping us grow more and more and more.
That's so awesome. That's so cool. Like I said, it's neat. I'm like, damn, I'm seeing like my feed with all the wrestlers, and I'm like, shit, they're all like tweeting too. They're, you know, and you know, I love everybody like on Twitter too. Like, again, if I'm at a promotion, you know, and then something else is running, because again, like, there's 50 million promotions pretty much. It's hard. It's hard, and I try to be very supportive as much as I can. And, you know, I love watching, you know, social media, the good part of social media, like when people like gift stuff from like the shows and stuff. So it's like, keep doing that out there, you know, like I do my thing, I go to shows, I take footage, and, you know, I clip my own footage and I post it on social. But this is how you find new promotions, this is how you find new wrestlers, you know, that they're like spots, like, again, you know.
100%. I never want to discount what people like you do. I've booked people for DMDU off the back of stuff exactly like that. I'll see a show in another state. I saw a guy do like the sweetest Sasuke special I've ever seen, And I looked through the card and I went, oh, I know them. I'm like, can you give me such and such's phone number? Why? I want to book them off the Sasuke gift. And we booked
That's
them, and
awesome.
away we go.
That's why I always say, like, social is like so important, even for like the new up and coming students all over the place. And I'm like, damn, be more on Twitter, or post those videos of you guys, like whatever it is, be more active, because you never know who's watching, and you never know, like, that fan or promoter or whatever it is, so it's very, very important, the social place. Let's see. Oh my god, Fury, thank you for the money, you're so awesome. He says hands down, doing a fist bump, you're awesome. Charles has a question in the chat. He said, hey guys, what's your advice for a fan who's trying to get back into the business but feels it's dead and isn't fun to watch or be a part of? Thanks.
Ooh, good question. It's more of a psychological thing than anything. Maybe go back to why you fell in love with it in the first place. Yeah. I had a conversation with a wrestler at DMDU on Saturday who's feeling the exact same way, who shall remain nameless because I don't want to kind of expose, I guess, their mental state. Yeah, but they're like, I'm not having fun anymore. And I said to them, if you don't take it so seriously, you might have some fun by accident. Mm-hmm. And like, I saw something click, and they're like, yeah, all right. And then went out and had like the most ridiculous match I've ever seen, because they just went, fuck it, I'm going to go and do what I want to do and enjoy myself. Yeah. And get lost in what made you a fan all over again. That's from a performing perspective, but I assume as like a kind of a consumer perspective, it'd be really similar. Like, if go back and watch the wrestling that you enjoyed as you were coming in. Like, same thing. If I'm ever bummed, 97 Nitro. It's awful, but there's that nostalgia to it that I really, really like, and kind of just gives me those warm fuzzies on the inside. Or like it's 2005 Noah, or it's like Ring of Honor. And then like a good example for me was like, I've been feeling down on wrestling a little bit lately myself, just really like in my own head about it. Watching CM Punk's entrance on the AEW pay-per-view yesterday immediately took me back to like 2004. Mm-hmm. I just went, oh, fuck, this is amazing. And now, like, I've gone and dug out my hard drive, and I'm, like, working my way through 2003 Ring of Honor.
That's awesome.
I feel motivated to watch wrestling again. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. I mean, like, I also think the fact that there's... Oh, we lost them. Well, that was... His phone must have died. Okay. Did your phone die? And we lost them again. Oh man. Always happen. When we get into the good stuff pretty much. All right, let's see. We got you back.
Fucking technology.
The joy of technology. You're fine, you're back.
We're 50 hours in front and 10 years behind.
That's too funny.
Ever trying to put my phone on charge?
It's all good. It's all good. The nice thing also too, I feel like with wrestling, like like you say, like go back to basics, which I think is also great. Go back to the stuff that you like. But again, like we were just talking about, like what all the million different promotions that are out there and different types of wrestling that is out there. There's always something for that fan. Like if there's one thing, if you're not into deathmatch wrestling, there's comedic wrestling, there's technical wrestling, like you got your intergender, your women's, there's just so much wrestling. You'll find something.
If you as an adult can go back and remember what you loved about pro wrestling when you got into pro wrestling, there is probably now, as wrestling's obviously expanded, there's probably a subgenre that tailors specifically to what you like.
Right.
Like for me, I love the cruiserweights in WCW and I love Goldberg.
Right.
Now I can go and watch like the UWFI series on IWTV if I want to see big guys beating the fuck out of one another. Otherwise, there's amazing Lucha Libre and junior heavyweight stuff to get my really, really easily.
Yeah, definitely. Everything Pro Wrestling's in the chat. What's up? How are ya? Go check out his AEW Revolution review. It's awesome. So definitely go check it out. All that AEW love last night, which was great. So I got, let's go into more questions over here. Like I want to talk about one of my favorite matches, Charlie Evans. Oh my God. A bunch of us, we got the honor of watching her in the States. I got to see her in person when she did her run here for a few months, which was so great. She's so talented. I love like all her death matches, which is great. So if you guys are not on that, get on that train. So tell us your experience with her.
I've known Charlie Evans since like her second match. So me and Chebs have been good mates for ages. Obviously talked heaps when she was in the UK. Got to catch up the last time I went to Japan. She was with Sendai Girls over there on a tour and got to hang out. And we've always just said it'd be fucking cool to do a death match together.
Right.
She'd obviously dabbled in it a little bit in the UK. She did death match with like Chris Brooks and with Good Wrestling and stuff like that. And it is, as you've kind of all seen, after she came home for a minute and went to the US, she's an amazing wrestler, full stop, and really, really fucking good at death matches. Yeah. So the opportunity, sadly, obviously with the pandemic, the fucking world shut down, a lot of the people who were wrestling overseas for long periods of time, because Charlie was based out of the UK for like 3.5 years, had to come home.
Yeah.
And our international borders were locked tight for like 18 months. So people like Aussie Open and Charlie Evans and Robbie Eagles, we were all really lucky to have these world-class talents at home for a bit, and all the independents could kind of, like just harvest their knowledge. And the second I knew Charlie was going to be home, I'm like, right, here's a date. You want to do it? She's like, yep, cool. Let's build some context and let's fight. It'll be sick.
Yeah.
And we came up with the Last Drinks death match. I think it was a really dumb idea at like 11 o'clock at night. We were both sending voice back and forth after a couple of beers and just went, hey, how about this? How about we like dress it up like a pub but make it real gross and tons of tubes? She's like, yeah, it sounds like fun, whatever. But we built a ton of callbacks into that match as well. Like, I'm a big fan of long-term storytelling.
Yeah.
So our finishes didn't work really early in the match, but then we went to our idols and our friends' finishes. She went to Eddie Kingston's back fist. She went to Manami Toyota's Ocean Cyclone Suplex. I went to Danny Havoc's General Order, and I think I did the Alex Colon knees as well, which I literally just steal off Alex to annoy Alex. Because every time he sees me, he's like, you're doing it wrong. I'm like, shut up. But yeah, like we just tried to build in a lot of story into that, 18 minutes or whatever. And it was a really fun match. Yeah. And I absolutely love it. That was one of my favorite matches I've ever done in my life. Yeah, and I can't wait to do it again soon. Hopefully, we're lucky to end up in the same country again in the not too distant future and we get to do it again. That'd be really cool. Yeah. But yeah, I absolutely adored working with Charlie. And then she went to the States and she fell in love, which is awesome. Connor is an amazing human being.
So great.
He looks so stupid, but he's so nice.
Oh my God.
The thing, I'm in my 30s now. I don't get that style. I just don't understand it. And instead of trying to understand it, I'm just like, you look dumb, but it seems to work. Go for it. Everybody else likes it. It's me showing my age. So yeah, and then obviously had an amazing run through the States. Did the NGI, had that great match with Alex. And is now in the UK crushing it as well.
Yeah. So great. I hope to see her again in the States. She was phenomenal. I love, like her gear, that I love the tribute, with her deathmatch gear. She's fantastic. So great. So here, let's talk about this. This is fun. I love talking weapons with people, and again, I'm very fortunate. Anybody that watches this podcast knows I work a lot H2O backstage. I do a lot of backstage interviews with everybody, and one of the things, again, I love the whole thing with weapons. Alex Colon, me and him were just talking about it a couple episodes ago about me just watching him build weapons, and even some of the students at H2O, Alex Stretch, shout out to him. He's very interesting how he puts together some of these weapons. So I'd love to talk about weapon building with you. Again, the skinny light tubes are a massive thing that everybody talks about here in the States. Tell us anything crazy, that you've made or been involved with or watched been made.
Well, so the thing is, everyone in America panics about the skinny light tubes. And fair enough. It almost killed Nick Gage, right? But everyone panics about the skinny light tubes. Here, there was a government mandate in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they all the T12s got taken out of houses and replaced with skinny light tubes. So a brand new, like, American style tube runs like $20 Australian for one.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you find like old ones, skinny tubes is all we have.
Yeah.
So we just go, so to me, they're just tubes. Like, I don't sit there and go, oh, fuck, I'm going to die. It's like, they're just light tubes to me.
Yeah.
And when I come to America next week, I'm like, oh, God, these are all fat tubes.
Yeah.
Like, they do break a little different. Like, skinny tubes do mark you up. That's fine. And there's certain things, like, I have a very small cachet of fat tubes that I'll use for, like, certain things. Like, if I know somebody's going to be around my head or neck, ideally it'll be a fat tube, just because they do shard a little smaller.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of most of the weapons builds for DMDU. It just works out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is running around doing other stuff, and I go, I'm just going to sit in the corner with a box of light tubes and just build shit. I like getting real creative with stuff. Like the match with Charlie, we didn't end up using them, but we actually had a billiard cue rack on the floor, and we had tubes painted up like billiard cues. And we never got to use them, but I was like, I like to do silly stuff like that. Like we did gusset bundles and stuff like that. The second last DMDU show, we did a big barbed wire net that was like level with the apron, out of timber, which was really cool. That you hit that and the whole thing exploded.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for glass. I like glass. I like a shitload of glass. I go glass over barbed wire any day of the week. I fucking hate barbed wire. That was the one thing when I got announced for 200 tubes with Matt. I messaged one of his lieutenants for H2O and I said, please tell me we're leaving the ropes up. And he's like, yeah, we're leaving the ropes up. Thank fuck for that. I don't want to do no rope barbed wire. Not on a Monday night. But yeah, like, I'm just trying to think what are the crazy ones are. We tried to do a light tube Ferris wheel for the show on the weekend. And I'd worked out how to do it. I just ran out of time. But I got like a little hobby motor and like a circular thing. So, the light tube fans?
Oh my God. Yeah, yeah.
I love the light tube fans.
Yeah.
It's the same concept, but with the short tubes and 360 and then like a little prop motor in the middle. So like two things of tubes that go up like this. Yeah, like a big just rotates slowly. Dumbest thing ever. Like, and really impractical to hit as well. Like, there's not really much you can do with it. But yeah, like I've got the motor and stuff in my garage. I just didn't finish building the frame before the show came around. But yeah, I like doing that. I like getting really creative with deathmatch stipulations. Like one of the shows, I think it was the second show that got canceled because of COVID spike. We had a carpet strips and Red Roses deathmatch that got canned. I'm really glad I wasn't in that because that would have sucked so bad. All the really creative death matches I come up with, I try not to put myself in because it usually means they're going to hurt.
Yeah.
And then the one we did at Taking Back Sunday, which was our first live show on IWTV, the Teaspoon of Concrete and Harden the Fuck Up death match. The venue hit me up like 2 days beforehand and said, hey, can you not do glass? And I went, yeah, of course. It's a brand new building. I don't want to burn the building on the first time. No glass. So I was like, what can we do? And then I went to Bunnings, which is like our version of Home Depot. I was walking around. I'm like, yeah, look, we'll do cinder blocks and we'll do a cut can board and get a door and we'll do a safety pin door. And then like I saw these bags of crushed rock for like $10, and I'm like, they look like they'll hurt. Let's use those. And filled a big bucket full of crushed rock, and they poured it out in the middle of the rig. It was gross. It was really awful, but fun and something different. Like, as much as I love light tubes, if I see 10 light tube matches on a show, I'm kind of gonna get sick of light tubes. There's only a fun to do with them. Variety is the spice of life. I like getting creative with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's why I said like I wanted to talk about that with you, because I love, again, the creativity that people put behind their weapon building, and it's like a whole thing. So I always like talking about that with you guys because it's fun. I enjoy it.
I'm so excited to meet all the weapons builders in the US.
Yeah, I'm like
talking to the most, like weapons builder Ryan for ICW. We've been going back and forth on like tons of ideas. Some of the Horror Slam guys, a couple of people for Cass's show. And hopefully, H2O have the gentleman you mentioned earlier.
Alex Stretch, Oh, man.
I can't wait to meet Alex and just kind of go, right, we have 200 light tubes. Let's do some stupid stuff. I'm all about it. I can't wait.
I'm so excited. Like, I will be there. I'm like, I'm definitely coming. I know there's an H2O show today, and the kids wanted me to come, and I'm like, I can't. I gotta get up early tomorrow. I have to go to the doctor. So I was like, I'm not gonna be there, but I was like, I will come the 14th. I was like, so I made sure I didn't, have any interviews or anything like that. I was like, I'm gonna take the ride. So I'll definitely be backstage. So I'm really excited about this. I mean, how cool is this? Matt's out of retirement. Matt's wrestling like crazy. He's wrestling his students. He's wrestling like everybody out there, which is so neat. So you're coming here, to the States, and you're wrestling Matt Tremont, like, like how cool, in his own promotion, how cool is that?
I try not to get too caught up in it because then I get anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Matt have known each other for a really long time. I actually came there 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I came to the States, and me and Matt were meant to wrestle in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hit him up after that first Carnage Cup, where he kind of broke out,
Yeah.
and I had the real match with Pinky and Danny Havoc, and we got talking, and then there was a tournament that was coming up, and at the sake of not burying a promoter that I may work for one day, they shall remain nameless, but Matt booked me for the tournament. I booked my flights. I was coming, and then he canceled the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
For what later ended up being this dumb kayfabe reason. I just think tickets weren't selling. So I was flying all the way to the States. I was like, fuck, I'm coming all the way there. I don't have any matches. Ended up like picking up a couple of bookings and ended up training with CZW because CZW had a really good relationship with Australian talent at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Matt didn't get the opportunity to wrestle. We got to meet and hang out and stuff. And I remember giving him a gift of like an Australian $5 bill. Our money's plastic. It looks real dumb. It's actually purple.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I want to give you something as a thank you for like getting me here because I got to meet some people and network and make contacts that still pay off today. But ever since, we've just kept missing each other. Like there was a time where I was going to come to the US and then I hurt my shoulder and then I wanted to book him here in Australia and then he retired.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, we might not actually be able to do this. Like this is I don't have a massive like bucket list. But Matt was always one of those guys. And I was like, fuck, this isn't actually going to happen. I'm just going to kind of have to write this one off as what could have been. And then I was umming and ahhing about maybe coming for WrestleMania weekend instead of this March trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then March came up and I took the ICW shows and Schlack actually helped me put it all together. And he's like, have you messaged Tremont? And I said, no. He's like, give me a day. And within 24 hours, Matt's like, yep, cool. Let's do it. Let's do H2O. Let's come and do the Monday night show. I said, okay, cool. But I didn't know who I was wrestling. And then obviously the match with Matt started to come together. But the fun story with this is I didn't know it was going to be 200 light tubes. I genuinely had no idea. So I was on the phone with Alex Colon because he's coming out here the week after Mania for Not Here to Fuck Spiders.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the phone to Cologne, and my Twitter starts going crazy. My phone's just like bing, 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 bing. And as macabre as it is, I got really nervous. I'm like, shit, somebody's died. Like that, I thought that was like, if I'm getting this many notifications, something awful must have happened. And I flick open my phone, and I think your thing was the thing I saw. It's just like Bateman versus Tremont, 200 light tubes. I just cracked up laughing on the phone to Alex. He's like, what? Like me and Tremont, 200 tubes. He's like, you're going to die. I said, yeah, bro.
I'm all for it. The
last 200 light tubes Matt did was when he retired with RSP.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big stipulation. And then before that, I can't think of the last 200 tubes match in America. It had been a minute.
Yeah.
So the expectation that I put on myself, which was already through the roof, is just that much higher because I'm coming to Tremont's house.
Yeah.
It's his company. It's his building. In a stipulation that he's, that means so much to him as in terms of career trajectory. Like it was the stip that retired him. So yeah, the pressure is on. And, like I've spoken to people around Tremont and from what I've heard, he's got the same kind of expectation of the match as well. So I'm going to give it everything I can. I'm really excited. I've got some really stupid ideas. Ooh. But yeah, no, again, that match means everything to me. It's 10-year kind of build up in my own head
Yeah.
that we finally get to pay off.
This is so awesome. So again, like I said, guys, I'll be backstage. I'll be doing backstage interviews and all that fun stuff. So you'll make sure, again, you're subscribed to the Indie Wrestling Corner so you can see all that fun stuff. So I'm really excited for it. Sky said she's really excited for it. Riley, she goes, "Hey Joel, what's one of your dream opponents here in the U.S.? I'm a huge fan."
Ooh, good question. And I've got to kind of think about it. Okay. Not dream, but it's kind of left field because it's very achievable,
Mhm.
but for stars to align to have it happen is really difficult.
Mhm.
Casey Cook.
Yes, let's go. I want it.
Oh, yeah. So I obviously off the back of like the match with Charlie, I really and Charlie Rose as well for DMDU. I really like doing intergender matches. I think I'm good at them. And I really like doing death matches. When ICW came up, I got given the shopping list, and it was who do you want to wrestle?
Yeah.
And top two names were like Neil and Casey.
Yeah.
I said, give me Neil, give me Casey, and Shazza McKenzie, because she's in the country at the same time, but was at another commitment, so wasn't available. But I was like, let's do it, let's go, because I think we could have a really amazing match. And just for whatever reason, the stars didn't align. I'm not complaining that I get to wrestle Akira. I think that's the coolest fucking thing ever. But I thought I could do really good business with Casey. And then again, like just as this tour comes together, same thing. H2O, who do you want to wrestle? Casey. And it didn't happen. So that's kind of, as I'm ticking off these matches, you know, like your Tommy Vendetta, Matt Tremont, another round with Cass, Reed. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I'm ticking those off, that match with Casey is just going higher and higher up the list of shit that I really want to do sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let's get her on the phone right now. Let me call her.
Oh, she knows.
Oh, I know she knows. I know she knows. I mean, we talk all the time, so, like, I know she knows. So, but I tagged her into the chat, and Riley tagged her. Like, get your ass in here, and, like, let's go. No, pretty much. Sky asked in the chat, one of the matches you want here in the UK.
Ooh, that's a really good question. So, right. Sky, this is specifically for you and anyone else from the UK. Anyone in America, just tune out for 2 minutes because this is going to be really fucking boring because this is a cricket thing. So there's a trophy called the Ashes, and it's like it's like the World Series of cricket, but you all have a World Series and everyone's from America, so it's not really a World Series. Ashes is between Australia and England, and the trophy's been around for like 110 years. It's a tiny little clay urn about that big, about 4 inches big, and they play like five-day games for it every year. And they just exchange the ashes back and forth because it's the ashes of a ball from like the late 1800s. I want to do a deathmatch Ashes. Wow. I want to do Australia versus England in like a big extended series and do the deathmatch Ashes. So that's kind of all encompassing. It's all the Australian guys versus all the UK guys. And, you know, 1 year we can all go there, and then the next year they can all come here and kind of just build up this trophy that goes back not even like wrestler to wrestler, like a title, but like country to country as like a patriotic thing. So the Deathmatch Ashes is something I really want to do. I pitched it to Clint first, and he really likes it because he's a cricket guy. The match I really want in the UK, and there's a ticking time clock on it, is Iceman. I really want Iceman because Iceman is the granddad of deathmatch wrestling in the UK. He's a fucking legend. But Michael Caden's amazing. Big Joe is my boy. Clint, can't wait. Lou Nixon's out of his fucking mind. Like, the UK deathmatch scene is so underrated, and I'm really glad that like Joe got that couple opportunities in the States, and Clint did as well, to see just how good they are and how crazy they are. Because they're very much like here, they're so isolated when it comes to death matches. They've really got their own style. Yeah, so that it's unreal. But everyone is kind of the shitty answer. But the deathmatch Ashes is something we're actually trying to put together kind of long term.
There you go. She says, "I love this." So you made her day.
Yeah, well, because what cricket?
It's all good. It's all good. Again, we have fans all over the place that.
Oh, they'll work it out.
Yeah,
I'm trying really hard. I hit Weapons Master Ryan up. I'm trying really hard to get a cricket bat in America. but because y'all don't play cricket, it's kind of hard. But I think we might have pulled it off. I don't know. I won't know till I get there.
There you go. There you go. Oh man. So, again, we touched base with H2O, we touched base with Casanova. So let's talk a little deeper about IC Dub. By the way, I did talk to Struggles before this interview, so he made sure to tell me to tell you that he said hi. So good old Struggles. Struggles coming on the podcast at the end of the month, guys, just so you know, so we can, get ready for your questions with Struggles. So, again, we love ICW over here. Again, we fight in the pit. And then, you got Reed Bentley, and then we have Akira. I just saw Akira the other day. He was wrestling at NFW, which is great. So this is exciting. This is so much fun. Let me put the flyers up for you guys so you guys can kind of follow what's going on when he's coming down, to the States. But shit. I'm excited for your whole tour. But shit. Man, Reed and then freaking Akira. Holy crap.
I'm fucking nervous, to be honest with you.
Really?
But it's that good kind of nervous energy,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I cut the promo not knowing, because I cut the promo back in February, at the very start of Feb, kind of setting up the title match, not knowing who the champion was going to be, because I knew there were still 2 shows to go. When I cut the promo, it was John, but obviously John lost the title to Reed, and then there was that crazy 4-way in Chicago, and I'm sitting there going, as long as it's not Justin Kyle, I'm fine. Because Justin Kyle is alive in about 45 seconds. He's fucking gigantic, man. I hope he gets well soon. I saw he's off the Chattanooga show, so that breaks my heart. But I do hope he gets well soon. But Reed Bentley, I'm so glad he's getting his flowers now, because he's been so good for so long. I can't wait. Hopefully I can get me, him, and Alex Colon in a room, and we can do the Spider-Man meme, because we all the same.
That's so awesome.
But I'm so excited to wrestle Reed. He's one of the best in the world, has been for a really long time. But is super underrated. He's such a good hand that a lot of times people don't, give him the opportunity to perform at the top of the card, because you go, fuck, I need a mechanic. I need someone to fill a spot and make sure that it's good to amazing. They call on Reed Bentley.
Right.
But I mean, look at the matches Reed, look at the match with John, look at the match with Akira. I've been going back and studying all the Reed stuff in ICW to kind of get some ideas and kind of come up with a game plan. And every single match is just banger, 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 banger. Fuck, it's just, he's so goddamn good. So trying to come up with a way to beat him is crazy. But what I said in the promo, and what I'm really excited about, is if I can beat Reed, I can bring the belt back here and make it a legitimate world title. So it's the first cab off the rank, and I'm not one for self-preservation, so I'm going to throw everything at Reed. And if it means I go 1-5 for the trip, I don't care, because the 1 is for the title. No big deal. So as long as Danny doesn't make me fucking defend it against Akira the next day. But that being said, I shouldn't be worried, because Marsha's going to beat the fuck out of Akira anyway, so I'm not concerned. That was really funny, because I was messaging Marsha, because me and Marsha have been friends since the pandemic started.
Yeah.
And we're trying to make it so we could hang out on this tour and catch up and meet in person, because we've been talking online for years. Well, I don't think it's going to work. I'm like, you free on this Friday? She's like, actually, I'm like, message Danny. I was like, message Danny, get booked in fucking Pit Fighter, come down, we'll hang out in Tennessee. And I was just bugging her for a week and a half. And she's like, yeah, maybe. I was like, all right. I messaged Danny. And then the next day I see the graphic pop up. I just laughed my ass off. I was like, suck shit, kid. You're going to die.
Oh, man. This is I'm excited. I love ICW. It's so great. So much fun. Hi, Casey. She's in the chat. Love you.
I can't believe you didn't tell Brandon we're going to the zoo on Saturday morning. I'm so upset with you. We're going to Chattanooga Zoo. There's a really sick zoo and aquarium right near where we're staying. So one of the things I'm really excited about on this trip is to stop and smell the roses a little bit. When I came last time, I spent 3 weeks in the market area of Philadelphia. So I know from Independence Hall to the ECW arena and back, the back of my hand, I didn't see anything else. So this time I want to kind of do more touristy stuff as well and just kind of enjoy myself and hang out with my friends. But the match with Akira, I'm really excited about as well because he's been on a tear and like having really good matches with all these international guys. Like I'm sure, like he had a great match with Clint. It sucks that Green Phantom fell through. That obviously would have been amazing. Then he's got me, and then Sakuta's got the US excursion, and me, like on paper, one of my dream matches for 2022 is Sakuta and Akira. I think that'd be amazing. I think they both got kind of something, just that right kind of screw loose, and work a really similar style. I think it'd be really cool. So Akira and I, the most nerdy thing in the world, we actually play on the same Minecraft server. Yeah, we're like big deathmatch athletes who fight and bleed and play fucking video games constantly. But yeah, like we've been talking for ages, and it's one of those again. Hey, it'd be really cool if, and now it's a thing. Yeah. So it's gone from kind of that playful, hey, how about this, to now there's a little bit more intent behind everything that we've been saying to one another in private. It's like instead of hey, it'd be really cool if in one of your matches you try this, and it's like, right, when I come to Chattanooga, you're fucked because I'm doing this to you. So yeah, it's been super, super cool. I know for a fact, I've been talking to Weapons Master Ryan a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And have deliberately told him not to tell Akira a bunch of shit.
Ooh.
So this is my last podcast before I go, so I can tell you everything.
Yay!
Yeah, I've got Weapons Master Ryan and I have been like plotting Akira's demise really, really well for like the last month. So we've got some crazy shit put together. Me and Ryan, Akira's just gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, like the plan is to come and show out and steal the weekend with Akira, and I think we can with kind of the crazy stuff I've got in my head. So it's gonna be one to watch, and yeah, there's gonna be stuff I guarantee that you've never seen in ICW before.
Oh, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. By the way, Casey said she did tell Brandon, he just ignores her. And Brandon said, go fuck a spider, Joel, you freak. And then he said he's kind of offended I never got invited to this Minecraft server.
I didn't know Brandon played Minecraft. All right, well, yeah, you can come. It's fine.
Can you like stream this on Twitch? Like Brandon had a Twitch. He was on Twitch. I gave him a camera.
Y'all have to stream it on Twitch because, like, if we're playing at night, I jump on after work in about 5 hours, so it's like midnight your time, which is when we jump on. But like the prime streaming time, I'm usually at work, so I usually just come in a cameo and then no scope Akira with an arrow, kill him while he's streaming, and then run away. So. Which is like how this whole match came together, because I accidentally shot him in the head when he originally joined us.
Casey said he doesn't play Minecraft. Now he's gonna get it just to play with you, I bet.
Yeah. I want to do I want to do a Minecraft deathmatch really, really badly. Just everything in block form. I think it'd be really fun and cost way too much money to do, but I think it'd be really fun, and I want to do it. So, Brandon, you're a Minecraft deathmatch, a triple threat.
Why do I see this happening within like the next couple of months or something like that?
Oh, it'll totally happen.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. And Brandon's saying he does, but he's sleeping by dying, and he says he loves Minecraft. Okay, well, whatever floats your boat. So let's talk about something fun, because like me and Casey were talking about this. Let's talk about the wildlife that's in your backyard pretty much. So it must be, oh, what is that?
These are Tim Tams. These are Australia's greatest export, and these are the ones for Casey and Brandon. I have like a whole pile here. So getting them through customs is going to be interesting, but these are the ones for Casey and Brandon.
Oh, man. I want one. Save me one, Casey. Well, I'll be there that Monday, so.
Oh, I'll have at least one packet by the time I get to HQ.
Give me one little one. That's it. I'll bring cookies or something like that. So. Too funny. We'll do an exchange pretty much. So, but yeah. So let's talk about the wildlife. I mean, again, it's so different than what we're used to here. So kangaroos, all that fun stuff. Like,
well, yeah. First thing, we don't ride kangaroos.
Damn it! That's it.
No, I'm just thinking because someone revved Kelowna about the fact that when koalas are wet, they run really fast.
Oh no!
Someone told us that, and he's like, "Are you going to tell me a bear that's like the size of a suitcase is going to chase me down the street?" No, no, they're not. Yeah, we have really amazing wildlife here. Kangaroos and stuff. The further out of the city you go, same as most places, like you don't see a lot of like I guess, deer and bears and shit in the city. But the further out you go into like the bush, the more you see. But yeah, we got kangaroos, wallabies, koalas. They're kind of the big ones. Emus, you don't see in the wild too much. But everything here is trying to kill you.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
the Australia. So there are spiders everywhere. Cologne is so shit scared of spiders, and I don't care if it's a podcast. If he's got a problem with it, he can fight me. He's like, because I sent him a photo. I'm like, hey, look at this spider in my room. He's like, I'm not coming. I'm staying. I'm not coming to Australia. I'm scared of spiders. I was like, fuck you, bro. But yeah, we have really amazing wildlife here. But everything is trying to kill you. We have like I think 9 of the top 10 poisonous snakes in the world here. All 3 of like the man-eating sharks are known to be on like one coast or another of Australia. Yeah, like it's just we have a really beautiful country, but the trade-off is everything's trying to kill you.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess he's not bringing any koalas for you guys out there.
Koalas are really cute, but the thing is, koalas are really cute, but they're dumb. They're really dumb. They live on eucalyptus leaves, which are really like not nutritious at all.
Aww.
So they're fucking idiots, have giant claws, they move really slowly because they're living on eucalyptus things, and they all have chlamydia.
Oh, what?
It's a massive problem, like in the koala kind of...
Oh, why?
Yeah, like they're starting to become endangered because they all have fucking STD.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so like there's like one island, I think it's Norfolk Island, not Norfolk Island. Oh, I should know this. It's an island south of Adelaide, and actually has like the only koala population left in Australia that doesn't have an STD. So like that got hit really hard by bushfires a couple of years ago. But yeah, the population's starting to kind of come back up in the positive sense there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been a huge problem for them actually.
Oh wow. The things you don't know and the things you learn. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So here, let's do a fun, fun question here that I bring onto every Under the Ropes interview that I do. Again, we see so much negative out there into the world of social and whatever. So I like to bring on the positive. So wrestling with positivity is very dear to my heart. I love, again, like I said, I love I've done a bunch of projects. You guys can see it. It's pinned on the Indie Wrestling Corner as well. So we're going to ask you, is there anything that sticks out to you, whether it was something maybe you've done for a fan's done for you, or wrestler's done for you, maybe you've done something for a wrestler, that, again, like the fan, or maybe people that wouldn't really see, like that goes like behind like closed doors, that you could share with us?
There's a bunch of stories, but we don't do them for clout, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, of course not. No.
It's such a special moment because a lot of the times it isn't out in public, but the one that, means the most to me, I guess, is the example I gave earlier with DMDU, where someone who was cis male at birth and identifies now as female felt comfortable enough the first time, like leaving the house in makeup and a dress and that kind of stuff, was coming to a DMDU show because we'd created such a safe space that they know they're not going to get harassed or bullied or fucking assaulted or attacked or anything like that. They could just come and be the best version of themselves at a deathmatch wrestling show because that is the space that they feel the most comfortable. Like when I got told that almost brought me to tears. And then a wrestler who shall remain nameless because it's a very, very private matter, but came up to me on one of the last shows that they were doing for us and said, hey, I've got this new gear made and I'm actually coming out as a part of my entrance, but I'm coming out. This is me publicly saying that this is my sexuality. And it's because we created a promotion where people feel so comfortable being their truest self.
Right.
And they went, hey, this is who I am, and I'm actually comfortable enough now to tell the world, largely in part of the work that you guys do here. And then went and, wore the gear and kind of revealed that part about them. And I bawled my eyes out at ringside. It was just the coolest thing because the smile on their face was just like the biggest thing in the world, where they're like, a weight lifted off their shoulders that had been there for so long. So it was a super cool couple of moments. But that kind of stuff sticks with me, and I think about, like when I'm having a hard day or we see something fucking shitty on the internet, like you know, and you feel real just down about professional wrestling. It's moments like that where I just go, yeah, you know what, we actually do good work.
Yeah, those are the moments, and that's what I like to capture on this podcast, are those moments. And again, like me being able to do these podcasts and, you know, work, you know, behind the scenes and stuff like that, I get to witness a lot of great stories. So I just like to bring them to light for, you know, those people. Like you said, there's so much, you know, there's that negative out there, and it's like these are the moments that make wrestling good and why we love wrestling. So I love that. Thanks for sharing that with us. It's so amazing. So I have two final questions for you. If you guys have anything else, feel free, drop them into the chat. So what are some things you like to do in this when you're not in the squared circle?
Oh, spare what is spare time? So I work a 9 to 5 job. I work for a local government here in Australia. I'm actually working from home. Hi, I'm so glad no one from work has me on social media, because otherwise they realize I'm not doing my job. I'll stay back late after 4, I swear. But yeah, so like I have a 9 to 5 job. I've got an amazing wife, Jess, and I have a 4-month-old baby named Sam, who takes up a lot of my time. I can hear him like cooing in the car, and they're playing on the other side of that door. I might go and get him actually in a minute. But yeah, like I'm a dad and a husband, and that's really important to me. I used to work in the beer industry for a really long time, so craft beer is kind of a passion of mine. Essentially, I just turned alcoholism into a hobby, but you know, I'm gonna own it. So coming to the US is like, that's the other side of it that I'm really excited about as well, because you guys have like the beer scene. Like I know a couple of the H2O students and stuff are hooking me up with some like whale beers, like beers that you only read about and go, fuck, one day I want to try that. I get to come to H2O and get to drink these beers. I'm so excited. But like, yeah, I've got a little spreadsheet of like every town I go to. I want beers here and here and here and here. So, and like, yeah, even like DMAC in Detroit is going to hook me up, and we're going to go out to a bunch of breweries in Detroit. That's something I'm super passionate about and enjoy doing. But outside of that, yeah, I like to play video games. I like my sport.
Yeah.
We have backward sports down here. We have Australian rules football, which is impossible to explain to anybody unless you see it. Look it up. They get like 60,000 people to every game. But I can't think of like, yeah, it's a combination of like soccer, rugby, kill the guy with the ball, and it moves really fast, kind of like ice hockey. And it's played on a big oval. So yeah, it's like if you look up on YouTube like AFL Explained for Americans, it's the best. Cricket, I do try and follow baseball and ice hockey and stuff like that when I can. My wife is like the biggest Capitals fan on the planet. I'm sorry, Brandon and Casey. My wife's a massive Capitals fan, so I'm on the lookout for like vintage Capitals stuff when I'm coming for this trip. But yeah, outside of all of that, if I find time, I will sleep.
Okay. busy. Oh man. So I'm gonna come down to my final question, then we'll go over everything that you got coming up again and all your fun stuff. So again, we have a lot of people that listen into this podcast, whether they're, you know, training like Sky. Sky, get your notepad ready, because I know you're ready for this question. So again, like, you know, for those fans out there, you know, debating about whether that they want to get into wrestling, or the beginning of the stages of people that are going to, you know, get into this journey, start training and, you know, into wrestling, what's a piece of advice that you would give them?
Don't. You're a fucking idiot. No.
I've heard that too. Yeah, pretty much.
No. Before I answer, I'm really glad that the culture is changing. And if you ask anyone who's still around from like that kind of early to mid 2000s, it's a breath of fresh air that people coming back to Sky, do you know what I mean? Like, you can come into a supportive, helpful, uplifting business when, you know, bullying and, you know, misogyny was so rampant for so long. A tip for someone getting into wrestling: stay humble, keep your ears open, don't be afraid to ask questions. That's how you're gonna learn. Brush your fucking teeth, wear deodorant, and always take the photo. always get that picture. That's the one thing that stuck with me. Through the pandemic, we did a bunch of seminars with deathmatch guys. Like we did one with Tremont and we did one with Madman Pondo. And he asked everyone in the group, he said, am I marked for taking photos with other wrestlers? And half the people said yes, and half the people kind of stayed quiet. And he's like, the only thing we get out of wrestling is the memories and our health. And 9 times out of 10, we don't even get out with our health. Mm-hmm. So the only thing we've got is the memories of the roads we've traveled and the people we've met and the people we get to hang out with. Mm-hmm. So always take the photo. Like I've got a photo with, one of my idols, Steve Carino. He came out here in like 2005 and like I lost my job, quit school, and caught a bus 11 hours to do a 3-second Rumble spot just to be on the same show with Carino, to get the photo with Carino and sit there and pick his brain for a whole weekend.
Wow.
And that kind of resonates with me. Even now, like that's one of my most favorite experiences as a wrestler. I was like 17. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm almost 33. So yeah, always take the photo. 100%. If you meet someone, if you've got a connection, if you want to remember kind of that interaction, always take the photo. Hang on one second. My water bottle was in the pram. Could you bring me Sam, please? Sorry, I'm yelling at my wife because she's like, I'm going to the shop, so like, bring me my son. Yeah, that's kind of the best advice I could give. Is don't lose the forest for the trees. Enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the ride because there's nothing like it. Imagine. All right, Tiff. Let me try this. What did you want to be when you were 8 years old? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, God. Many moons ago. I don't even remember. God, I think I remember, like, even being younger than that, I was like, oh, I want to be a doctor. It was like, yeah.
Right.
So,
I wanted to be a
yeah.
cricket player or a race car driver.
Right.
We now, as pro wrestlers, get to tell other kids and other young people the thing that you want to be when you grow up, whether it's a wrestler, whether it's a firefighter or a policeman, a teacher, a doctor, whatever, it's achievable. Mm-hmm. Like being able to have those rose-tinted glasses about life when everything around us is so monumentally fucked is, like a breath of fresh air that we seldom find in this life. So I tell that to everyone. I take classes here in Melbourne and I say, yeah, don't look like you get to do the thing you wanted to be when you grow up. Don't forget that. Remember to appreciate that when you get the opportunity because there's nothing like it.
Yeah. So great, man. Well, let's go through all the fun stuff. So again, I have all the shows that you got coming up. Like, did I miss anything that
I can put on my plug voice?
Yeah, put your plug voice on, give your socials, your merch, all that fun stuff. Here we go. Take that sip of water, pretty much.
I'm out of coffee and I've got a Powerade next to my desk, but it's been there for about 6 weeks. So
yeah.
Told you, like from here down, it's a complete bomb site. You can see like an empty beer carton in the corner. See, but yeah, me and my friends, we run a wrestling company here in Melbourne, Australia called Deathmatch Down Under. You can find us on social media at Deathmatch Down Under or at DM Down Under, depending on what platform you're looking for us. We're also on IWTV. We have our entire back catalogue up there. Please watch. It does help us out. The kickback we get from IWTV is just enough to buy beer for everybody. So, no, IWTV are amazing. But I'm coming to the US. This is the last interview I'm doing before I come to America. I fly out in just over 24 hours. So I am coming to Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm so excited. So March 11 and 12, I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee for Pit Fighter X against Reed Bentley for the American Deathmatch title. He's going to lose. And then I have Akira in the chains for No Holds Barred. He's also going to lose. Then I get to go to the Jack Daniels distillery for a day, which I'm so excited about. And then I have H2O on Monday the 14th of March at the H2O Wrestling Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Myself and the Bulldozer, Matt Tremont, 200 light tubes. And then I have a couple of days to rest. And then the Horror Slam Murder City Deathmatch Cup in Detroit. I've been saying Detroit, real hard, pronouncing it wrong. In Detroit, myself and Tommy Vendetta on night 1. Fuck Tommy Vendetta. I'm going to punch him in the mouth. I told him that privately, so I can't wait. But I also realized that it's St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spray paint all the light tubes green and like try and make a light tube. You want to know like making stupid shit out of light tubes? I'm going to try and make a big light tube shamrock.
There you go.
So,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's kind of my goal. And whoever the weapons masters are for Horror Slam, please help. So 2-night tournament there, the Thursday and the Friday, and then March 19th. wrapping up the pandemic, because we always said the pandemic started, like me and Casanova Valentine
Yeah.
kind of broke the pandemic. That's why it started. So I feel like if me and Casanova Valentine do another no ring death match, then that's the end of it, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be how it works. So yeah, he came to my house and left me with a giant scar on the back of my head. 2 years to the week, I get to come to his house and hopefully leave him with a gigantic scar in a no ring death match in Brooklyn, New York.
Man, I'm going to try to come to that one too.
Yeah, and then I have a day to chill, and then I come home.
There you go. Here you are. So awesome. So I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to come down to H2O and watch this. So, and I'll be watching the ICWs on IWTV as well. So, and I'm going to try to come down to the Casanova show with one of my friends because she lives like literally like a few blocks from there. So you might see us over there. So we're gonna see how this all works out. But yeah, so tell everybody like where they can follow you, buy the merch, all that fun stuff.
Oh, I don't do that. I'm really boring. I just mostly post Wordle scores and try and come up with smart comebacks to whatever Brandon Kirk yells at me. No, so I'm on all social media at @thesmash_hit. Hit me up. Talk to me about pro wrestling. My lovely wife is probably sick of hearing about it by now. So yeah, hit me up. I love talking about wrestling and DMDU and stuff like that. I'm really excited to come and meet everybody. You can find my merchandise. I do have a US exclusive tour shirt that I dropped on Twitter and Instagram yesterday. Well, it would have been this morning your time, but yesterday my time. Which is really cool. It does say "not here to fuck spiders" on it, Brandon. But it's kind of like the best Australian slang that doesn't have the C word in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go with that. So, because we are liberal users of the C word, I can't wait to offend everybody on this tour because I've gone like an hour without saying it. That's pretty good for me. So, but yeah, and then I've got shirts on Deathmatch Worldwide as well. Corey is an amazing business person and has been nothing but supportive of me and DMDU since he started Deathmatch Worldwide. And then if you live in Australia, or I guess kind of that side of the date line, Wrestler Merch is a very similar business here in Australia. That you can order from as well, or just hit me up. We can post stuff out of Australia now. So just hit me up. I have most things kind of in person, and then a bunch of stuff that isn't on any website. Like I have a hot sauce, which I'm going to bring with me to the States, and I'm going to take the Pepsi challenge with the Kirk's hot sauce. So,
make sure you take a lot of footage to like post clips of all this fun, because I mean I like watching that when people go all over the place and post their experiences. So I live through you guys, which is great.
Massive vlog guy, but I might do a vlog or just film everything, kind of edit it all together, and mush it all together. Package. Yeah,
you should. That's just like fun. The whole experience, even like you drinking like the beer and everything. I feel like this would be fun, and I feel like the fans would be all about it. I love watching those videos. I love like Alex Zaid, like he got to do it in Japan. They went to the Taco Bell. He did a whole video of him trying Taco Bell in Japan. So it's cool. Like I like watching these videos that you guys do. So, but I'm sure
I don't think the fridge on my phone to film all the beer I'm gonna drink while I'm in America.
We'll get you like a Polaroid or something.
I was gonna say, get me a portable hard drive.
We'll go old school. We'll get you a Polaroid. Just take photos and there you go. Post it up. But Joel, you're amazing. It's been so fun chatting with you. I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait for all the light tubes and all the crazy things that you come up with, with your weapons. It's gonna be a good old time. So, but thank you again for coming on here and hanging out and letting us learn a little bit more about you. So wonderful.
Not a problem. This was an absolute blast, and I can't wait to do it all in person.
Yes, we're gonna have fun. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for all your questions, all your support, all that fun stuff. If you guys listen to this later, thank you. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. So you guys know the drill. Stay safe, support independent wrestling, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Bye.